GTA became a success?
Grand Theft Auto should never have been a success. In the year it came out, 1997, its graphics looked completely out of date. Not only that, but gamers seemed uninterested in this strange city simulation game.
Yeah.
The developers, a Scottish company called DMA Design, they were worried. If GTA was a flop, they would lose tens of thousands of pounds. So
That's a lot of money.
They made a phone call.
Hello?
They enlisted the help of a criminal with an iron grip over the British press.
Oh,
This
shit.
man was in complete control of the news that people read every single day. And
Is this fucking real?
with his help, Grand Theft Auto would make millions.
No, kind of.
First off, who was this man? Well, his name was Max Clifford, and at the time he was mostly known as a PR specialist, public relations, someone who knew his way around the British press. If he wanted a headline on BBC News or a story in the Sun newspaper, then Max Clifford could make a few phone calls, call in a favour or two, and it would be done. Just like that. He worked with singers, actors, even O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, but like that didn't really work though, right? Because of like the whole thing. It did? You think it did?
Anyone could cook up a scandal, it was him. Nowadays though, that's not really what Max Clifford is remembered for.
What does he do now?
In 2012, Clifford was arrested on suspicion of a number of sexual offences. 2 years later, he was found guilty of 8 counts of indecent assault against girls and women between 15 and 19 years old.
Something different.
He was disgraced completely, outed to the world as being an evil predator. And it wasn't long before his sentence was handed down.
Can you believe this happened in the entertainment industry? Man. Wow.
8 years in prison.
Oh.
But Clifford wouldn't end up seeing his punishment through.
So he's out now?
At least not completely. Because 3 years later, he died in his cell.
Oh.
It was a heart attack.
So he got away.
But back in 1997, Clifford's crimes had not yet been exposed.
Ooh.
He was known simply as a man who knew how to control the news, how to flirt with controversy. Meanwhile, in Scotland, game developer DMA Design had a problem on their hands. Their upcoming video game, Grand Theft Auto, was struggling through development, to say the least. A developer at the company described the game as, quote, awful.
It was
and
awful.
full of bugs. In fact,
Wow, what a surprise. That never happens.
this developer stated that DMA Design almost canned the whole project. However, over time, Grand Theft Auto began to take on a darker theme,
Ooh.
with an emphasis on driving into and killing pedestrians,
All right.
causing crashes, fighting cops.
Yeah,
It all
there you
seemed
go.
very controversial. DMA's publisher, a company called BMG Interactive, supported this new direction. Most publishers would have shied away from such a controversial subject matter.
Y'all gotta remember, like, back in the 90s, people were really big pussies. Like, especially before September 11th, and, like, even, like, 5 years after that, everything was about family values. So nobody wanted to have alcohol, nobody wanted to have cigarettes, nobody wanted to have, like, any violence, anything that was, like, against the status quo. Yep, everything about family values. Can't use profanity, everything like that. It was crazy.
But BMG came from
Think of the children,
music
yeah.
industry. That's what BMG stood for. Bertelsmann Music Group. They were used to scandals with singers and rock stars.
Yeah.
So they decided to support DMA's controversial new Grand Theft Auto. However, while the game sounded interesting, it also looked very, very out of date, behind the times. The graphics were not good, to say the least. So BMG decided to hire someone who knew more than a little about controversy, publicist Max Clifford. And over the next few months, Clifford would cook up an intricate plot. A plan to make Grand Theft Auto so controversial that everybody in Britain would know its name.
The crazy thing about it is that this worked. Let him cook. Yeah, it worked. Did it? Yeah. He cooked.
Clifford talked through his plan with the guy in charge of developing GTA, a man named David Jones. Jones explained he told us how he would play it, who he would target, what those people targeted would say. Jones was told everything by Clifford, which politicians would react with outrage, which newspapers would print dramatic headlines about his game. His plan was detailed and extremely complicated, and, according to David Jones, every word he said came true. The first big event took place here, in the House of Lords. This is where members of the British elite debate new laws and help shape upcoming policy for the entire United Kingdom. But on a foggy morning in May 1997, the topic of conversation was something quite different. A Scottish game by the name of Grand Theft Auto. Now, GTA was still half a year away from release, but a lord there called Lord Campbell had somehow caught wind of it already. Of course, that was all thanks to Max Clifford's dirty work.
Because you fucking sit. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Campbell asked the room, "Is it true, as reported, that that game includes thefts of cars, joyriding, hit-and-run accidents, and being chased by the police, and that there will be nothing to stop children from buying it?"
Oh no.
And just like that, GTA went from a little Scottish game no one had heard of to a topic of debate in one of Britain's most influential political institutions.
This went so crazy in America too.
And as the game grew nearer to release, the media buzz only grew louder.
Oh yeah, like in the US, like by the time Grand Theft Auto 3 came out and like 4, this was like basically public enemy number 1. Cause like Grand Theft Auto intersected with like that family values era. Holy shit. Yeah, so ahead of its time, yeah.
Daily Mail ran the headline, "Criminal computer game that glorifies hit-and-run thugs."
That's right.
News of the World simply wrote, "Ban criminal video game."
Yep.
Here's an example of Max Clifford at work. One morning, a developer...
And what's funny about this is this still works. Like, look at, for example, Stellar Blade. Like, Stellar Blade was super popular. Like, I think it's a good game, but, like, the amount of buzz and controversy and conversation around it is, like, 10x'd because of the controversy of, like, the way the character looks. And then last year, Hogwarts Legacy was last year. And then what other game did that happen with? Pal World. Pal World was another one. Massive controversy helps games sell so well. It's crazy how good it is.
DMA Design scraped their car just very slightly. A few days later, News of the World was running a story about a driving ban for a, quote, sick car game boss. The story was practically unrecognizable from real life. Or here's another one. Clifford cooked up a completely false story about thousands of copies of the game being stolen from a warehouse.
Just make it up, bro. You want a story? I'll cook it up. Just make it up.
One developer at DMA Design explained he'd do anything to keep the profile high. And it worked just as planned. Grand Theft Auto sold over 500,000 copies that very Christmas in Britain alone. Worldwide, sales were even higher. By the next year, they doubled. And 1 year later, the game had raked in £17 million. In spite of its dated graphics and mixed reviews, Grand Theft Auto was a stunning success. And it was all down to Max Clifford's iron grip on the British.
This is so fucking funny. Some random guy who doesn't even really understand video games, but he understands how to fuck with people's heads so well that he still comes out on top. That's fucking crazy.
Press. Decades later, GTA is a multi-million-dollar franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Hit after hit after hit. And a lot of that is down to the games being fun. There's no way it would be this profitable if the games weren't good, after all. But search for Max Clifford's name on the Rockstar website, and you won't find a thing.
Well, yeah, probably because of, like, that underage girl sexual relationship thing that he got put in jail for. Like, that's probably... I mean, I could see why they'd take him off for that. You know?
It's the same on the game's Wikipedia page. Nothing.
It should be on the Wikipedia page.
I get it. Max Clifford was an evil man, and
Yeah.
his involvement is like a stain on the history of the GTA series.
Who cares?
But if GTA hadn't been mentioned in the House of Lords, covered in newspaper after newspaper, tabloid after tabloid, I don't think the series would have carried on any longer than that one original game.
He's right about that. He is.
This video was based on a 2012 interview by Rebecca Levine and Magnus Anderson. And of course, it was made possible by my patrons. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and donate at patreon.com/ThomasGameBox, if at all possible. Thank you.
This was really good. I didn't even know anything about this. This is fucking awesome. Holy shit. Yeah, this is just a random Twitter video, so, like, I don't know who made it, but, like, you know, hopefully, like, if we put this on YouTube, we can put a link of something that he does in the description. But this is awesome. What the fuck? I think the crazy thing about it is the fact that this guy was, like, I bet he probably wasn't a big video game guy, but he just knew how to get in people's head. To me, that's very impressive. That is extremely impressive because, like, every kid, at least here in the US, wanted to play Grand Theft Auto. And, like, one of the big reasons why, like, guys, like, young guys here wanted to play Grand Theft Auto is because all of the old people were freaking out about it. All of, like, the adults were like, oh my God, this game's so bad, it's ruining the world. And, like, that's such a great advertisement. I feel like the best advertisement for a game is if a news station does a story on how it kills people or ruins their life. Let's think about it. Minecraft, they do that. Fortnite, they do that. World of Warcraft, Grand Theft Auto, Doom. All of these games, Mortal Kombat, every single game, if a news station runs a story on how bad your game is, that will probably be a massive positive for your fucking game. Diablo, yeah. I mean, read the fucking name. It says Diablo. Don't forget that Stellar Blade is literally killing women. Yeah, true. Also works with finances and, like, Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. New video title, this game ruined my life. Yeah, there you go. I remember my parents getting me the game just to stop me being annoying. I never got it. Could talk about the same problem with Elden Ring. Maybe, I don't know. But I think this is one of the big things. People love the controversy, and I think especially whenever... Because, like, you have a bunch of these, like, old fucks, right? Like, all these old fucks that are sitting in this building trying to tell you, you know, what video game to play. I mean, if you're a young guy, right? You're 12 years old. You're, like, you know, 14 years old. Like, you actively want to do what's ever going to piss them off, right? That's just the way young guys are. So it makes a lot of sense, honestly.